In this video, we're making a recipe that's Moana inspired from the Cooking with Magic, and it's called No Chicken Boat Snack. There's just a little picture of Maui there with it. So basically, this is like a cracker snack mix. Like you take some crackers, some goldfish Parmesan crackers or Parmesan fish flavored crackers, and some oyster crackers, and you put some seasonings on them with some oil, bake them in the oven. Here's some clips of me putting it together. Okay, so first I need to make this vegetarian no chicken bouillon powder. So I'm going to start with some nutritional yeast. And it says you can do this in a food processor and blend it. I'm just going to use my mini little blender here just because I'm using a lot of spices and I feel like this one might work a little bit better. All right. So nutritional yeast added. Next up, I'm getting ready to add some salt. Now, it calls also in this recipe, you'll notice as I'm adding a lot of like spices and herbs, it calls for thyme and sage. I think like 2 teaspoons of sage and a tablespoon of thyme. I'm not really big fans of those, so I don't actually have them in my household. So I'm just going to skip it. I don't know if it'll affect it or not. A lot of times, you know, when it's in something with a lot of other spices, I don't notice it as much. But since I don't have it, I wasn't going to buy it. And I'm just going to kind of wing it. This is garlic powder. That's onion powder. Oregano. Basil. Now a couple teaspoons of black pepper. Finally, a little turmeric. All right, it says to store this in an airtight container. Look at all the dust coming out of that. I'm just gonna put it in this mason jar that I have here. Got my roasting pan here to get ready. Pardon the noise. And it says to add a package of Parmesan fish crackers and oyster crackers. So that's all it is. Okay, but as recorded, I'm not. So I have this little saucepan back here, and what I did is I put in half a stick of butter, some canola oil, a couple tablespoons of the bouillon stuff that we made, and 2 teaspoons of poultry seasoning, which I find ironic because it says no chicken, but poultry is chicken, isn't it? Finally, it calls for a couple like tablespoons of parsley. I don't mind parsley, like kind of like, you know, I said I don't like thyme and sage, but I don't like heavy amounts of it. So I'm just gonna like sprinkle a little bit in there to give it some flavor, but not too much. Okay, so now I'm supposed to stir this frequently and cook this over medium heat for about 3 to 4 minutes. It sounds like it should be kind of like golden brown and fragrant. All right, this is all melted. It was actually bubbling a little bit as I was cleaning up, so it smells aromatic to me. So the next step, just confirming here, is I just need to pour this over the crackers. Toss to coat. Okay, so I am going to put this in the oven. It's at 300 degrees. I'm going to bake it for 10 minutes. It says after that, stir it and bake for another 10 to 15 minutes until they're brown. Here it is out of the oven. It probably took about 22 to 23 minutes or so like that to get them to like what I think looks like a good brown color. Might not be able to tell because of the lighting, but anyway, I'm going to let them cool completely before we taste test them. As always, don't mind the appearance. Get ready to go do a workout. But I thought I'd just try these real quick now that they're nice and cooled down just to see how they taste. So I've got a little bit, one of the fish and the oyster crackers to try together. I'm not sure what I think of them, to be completely honest. There's definitely like a kind of a savory taste to them, I think, from the bouillon. It almost kind of reminds me of chicken noodle soup a little bit. Let me try like another, go off camera here, try another little one. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the oregano is a little dominant. I mean, it's not bad, but I guess I'm just not sure. So yeah, I'll just snack on these over, the next 2 days, and then I'll maybe have a better opinion on what I think of them. So review time, yeah, we enjoyed it. It was definitely savory. At first I wasn't sure about it. I felt like the oregano and the basil just seemed a little strong. I know I omitted a couple spices because I don't personally care for them that often. But overall, like after it settled after a couple days, it got really good and it got really addicting. I actually think this would have been good like sprinkled in like chicken noodle soup or something. So yeah, I really did enjoy it. My husband enjoyed it. So it really did kind of grow on me over it. Now, are there better like snack mixes that are out there like this? I think so, but it was still a really nice option. Again, I like the savoriness of it. And then it wasn't like cheese based, or a lot of those snack mixes I feel like they're either sweet or like cheese based. So I like that this was something a little bit different. So let's get into the rankings. The first are the ingredients on a scale of 1 to 5. That's in terms of cost and how hard are they to find. I'm gonna give it like a 2. Nothing was really that hard to find, but you do have a lot of spices and like the chicken poultry and all that. So yeah. So that's why I'm going to give it a 2. Difficulty level on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 is pretty easy. 5 is kind of difficult. I'm also going to give it a 2, just because I also factor time into this. I don't think it was really that hard. You make the powder and then you mix everything together on the stove and you cover it and roast it. But you do have to roast it and kind of watch it a little bit. But either way, I don't think it was that really hard. It could almost be like a 1.5. It wasn't too difficult. Would I make it again on a scale of 1 to 5? 1 is never, and 5 is absolutely loved it so much I'll probably make it a lot. I'm neutral on it with a 3. Again, it did grow on me and I did enjoy it, but I think there are some better options out there. So I don't know if it quite won me over that I will say I'll make it again personally, but I could be persuaded. So that's why I'm going to kind of stay in the neutral kind of 3 zone on this one.